Morning, y'all. You know that commercial where the guy goes, "It's time to make the donuts." Well, it's time to make the rise and shine. It's Sunday. I'm Bernadette, and I am actually here with your pick a card daily tarot reading for Sunday, December 6th. And if y'all knew about the last few days of my life, you would be like, is she really doing this reading on Sunday? Yes, I am. Because neither sleet nor snow nor the 8,000 second edition Arc Animal Tarot decks that showed up and we had to unpack and then we had to ship out 1,000 of them, that will not keep this psychic medium tarot reader shamanic practitioner from her appointed rounds. So buckle up, Buttercup. We got woo-woo to talk about, and it's a good day to talk about it because the synchronicities, y'all, I'm fixing to do a video on synchronicities because I have been in the twilight zone, because it's been nuts. So first of all, I couldn't be bothered this morning. I threw my hair up into something. I got one of my favorite sweatshirts. I know I look like a gangster. I know I do, but I'm a gangster of the forest because it's got like, there's my fox and it's got an owl on it and there's birds and I think there's what other critters are on here? I don't know, a bunch of critters. But anyway, bunny bun, did you bunny. So anyway, and I don't know, all kinds of stuff. But anyway, and so then Raccoon as the Page of Wands came out for you guys, and I was already wearing gray. I could, and the circles under my eyes are black as they could be. Y'all, I could pack for Europe in the circles under my eyes, or in the bags under my eyes. But in preparation, H didn't do a dang thing this morning, and I tried. So to be serious for a minute, I'm super tired. And so if I say something dumb, I am begging your forgiveness and your gracious understanding. But the other thing that happens to me when I get super tired is I go into this like really flowy psychic space. And so when I look back on the last week or so of readings and remember that kooky time whenever it was last week, beginning of the week or last weekend or whatever, that the cards came out, the 5, 6, and 7 or 6, 7, and 8 or whatever. I was like, Vegas, I've never had that happen. Well, I don't know, 50,000 readings, maybe I might have, but I don't remember it. And then yesterday a page came out and today another page has come out. And when you take a look at the pages, they are the embodiment of, wisdom to come, experience to come, but they're not yet a knight and they're not yet a queen or a king. And let me just note that pages they're not always male, and they can be female. They're sometimes referred to as the princess. And in this day and age, I just don't know why anybody, if you're going to do tarot, do it intuitively. The card may mean the non-binary or you don't identify with a gender or whatever gender you identify with. Just save yourself the hassle and go into your intuitive place and know that, as things change in the world, so changes symbolism. And I've got to believe all the archetypes of the Rider-Waite deck are not going to be stodgy. I got to believe they're going to want to be in flux with the rest of the world and stay up with the times, because no archetype likes to become obsolete. No archetype likes to become obsolete. So remember, today is your third eye chakra day. And when we start talking about these synchronicities, I really believe that the reading today is as much about synchronicity as it is almost anything. It'll have something to do with the raccoon and it'll have something to do with the Page of Wands for sure. But honest to goodness, the synchronicity is nuts. So remember also, the ruling planet of today is Saturn. So when you start taking a look at the traditional meanings of the Page of Wands in the Rider-Waite Tarot, and just so you know, if you're just joining us today, I'm Bernadette King. I am the creator, channel, and publisher of the Arc Animal Tarot and Oracle deck, and it is the tarot portion is based on the Rider-Waite symbolism and meaning, and that kind of thing. And so when you take a look at the traditional tarot card meanings of the Page of Wands, it's interesting because yesterday's page, Lordy, I know it was a page, I don't remember which one. Pentacles, yes, no, yes. And you take a look at that and you think, okay, well, this page is looking at everything as a blank, they're gonna be seeking wisdom, they're gonna be doing this all as a blank slate, right? And they start on their journey for the wisdom. But then today, on this Sunday, this page is all about it's showtime. You know, you've gone over all those details. You've taken a deep breath. You're ready to embark on this thing, this big thing that you're going to do. And there are no clouds in the sky. It's baby blue. Nobody's going to rain on your parade. And yes, of course, you know, you're in a desert. Okay, we get that. But you don't care. You don't care. Um, oh my God, it was the camel. We're back to deserts. We got to talk about that too. Camel was yesterday. We got to talk about deserts. So it doesn't matter if you're in a desert. It doesn't matter. You're not sweating it. You're very well equipped to handle the heat. You've got everything you're going to need that you'll need, mostly including your own wits. Now, when you take a look at hats, they're always symbols of protection in the Rider Waite. Okay, and pardon me, when you take a look at Raccoon, and you know their playful nature and that kind of thing, then you can take a look at that mask almost like a hat in some ways, in that the mask is representing an innocent approach to something, maybe even to exploring your own identity, presenting yourselves in a different guise or role, but really it's a protective thing. Now, masks are not necessarily seen like hats. People always think you're donning a mask because you've got something to hide. But it could be argued that you're donning a hat because you have something to hide, depending on the hat. So also that can be a little bit about like faking it till you make it. So something's going on that you feel like you need protection, or you just want an extra layer of protection. And that's cool. It means can't touch this. Nah, 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 nah. I'm wearing this hoodie, you guys. I feel all gangsta this morning. So I just, that's cool, right? But when you're keeping the world out, you're keeping the world from getting in. You can also be keeping part of yourself from getting out. So when you take a look at the Page of Wands and it's your ta-da moment, step into that ta-da moment. Even if the disguise you're wearing is part of your shtick, make it very clear to the world outside of you and your inner world that you're not afraid to have that outer world come into you, and you're not afraid to give part of you to that world. So the other thing that was kooky, I was just like, oh, I need my I'm cold, I'm tired, I'm sore. I need my forest animal hoodie this morning. I can't take it. And then all of a sudden, there's the gray of the raccoon that comes out to meet me this morning in the Page of Wands. And his leggings are orange, and that's the primary color of this. Y'all, the synchronicity, nutso. So the hat being gray, and gray being a big thing this morning, that symbolizes knowledge. And this is not about me. I show up for you guys. Now, I love what I do, and I'm so grateful to every one of you that come to my channel and listen to a dang word I have to say. But I do this for you, and I do it for the animals of the world, because the more you know about animals, the more they get into your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, you're just going to be compelled to do more for them. So a catchphrase I've always said, I don't know why I've never said it in the videos, but do good for animals, y'all. Do good for animals, y'all. Do good for animals, y'all. There's something about this knowledge that's happening at this time. And it may be esoteric knowledge. You may be walking the path of a mystic. It could be all kinds of things. It truly could be all kinds of things. And so, meaning what you're getting wisdom about, but the knowledge is trying to, knocking on heaven's door. It's trying to get to you, and you are heaven's door. Don't forget that. And let it in. Let the sun in. Let it in. So you're going to be, I think you're going to be really surprised at the value. I just keep hearing the word value, value, value. Because if you take a look at the red feather above his third eye, right? And today is the third eye chakra. It's in the shape of the Hebrew letter Yud, and that represents the divine spark. So whatever is going to come through to you is going to be an aha moment. Like, it may just knock you on your patootie. You may just take the wind out of you in a good way. You just may have to sit down and go like, did anybody else see that? Did anybody else hear that? Did anybody else feel that? Probably not. It was meant for you and you alone at that moment. But it will be meant for everybody when you get round to it, right? Okay. So Also, the leggings are orange. That's the life-giving power of the sun. That means wherever you're going to be traveling, you got the sun with you. You've got that fire. You've got that passion. When you take a look at the boots of this Page of Wands and the tunic and the cloak, they're yellow. That's the elemental color of air. And then when you also take a look at the sun and you know that that's, yes, it's about fiery passion, but the yellow of the sun, the gold of the sun, those are spiritual gifts. That is spiritual knowledge. And the question then becomes, will you find the knowledge inside the three pyramids in the back? Maybe. I don't know. They're great spiritual mysteries, right? They're huge symbols of spiritual mysteries. How did they get there? Who built them? How the heck did they do that? And this particular group of three refers to the Giza pyramids in Egypt. And so some will tell you that they're associated with the three stars of the belt of the constellation Orion. That might mean something to you today. In Egyptian mythology, it represents the slain and reborn god Osiris. In the ancient Hebrews, it was called Kessel, the fool. Sound familiar? Because really, in a lot of ways, the Page of Wands is like the, the zero starting point, which is the Fool card in the major arcana. There are differences between them, but they kind of really could be twins, not identical, but they could be twins in a way, except for the Fool is the everyman fool, right? Whereas the wands will bring the fire or the air energy specifically, whereas the Fool can embody earth, air, fire, water, spirit. A little down the rabbit hole this morning, so early on a Sunday, I know, but I told you I was tired, and if I drifted, I'll just slap myself and get back to it. So, listen, this, the hope and the optimism of this card is, it just makes me smile every time. And when you take a look at the salamanders on this old boy's tunic or this old girl's tunic or this old nothing's tunic, no gender, it does, now salamanders do represent the aspect of fire. And the Page of Wands is the earth aspect of fire. When the Page of Wands comes to you in a reading, you're making that fresh start. And listen, if this card has anything to do about love, if you're getting a reading about love, a new flame may be stepping into your life. So be on the lookout for that if there's something that you're looking for. And that love can mean romantic love. It can be new friends. It can be, it really can be anything. But generally speaking, it has to do with romantic love. The bottom line is, if this card represents a person, you or somebody that you're reading for, their free-spiritedness or their quirky sense of humor, God, give them some encouragement. They may get some flack for that, and that's what's going to lead them to their success. Is their different way of seeing things, their different way of doing things. You can feel like an outcast in the world when you're that kind of person. I mean, my God, I feel confident that at this point, you guys know I'm one taco short of a combination plate. I just ain't right, but I can't help it, and I'm tired of trying to help it. That nonsense went out in my teens. I was like, well, this is how my mind works, and this is how I am, and it is what it is. But and again, it's not about me, but it is about, I do uniquely understand, I'll bet most of y'all. Here's why I say that. I have yet to meet anyone that gets readings, but in particular is a reader or wants to be a reader or an energy healer or some kind of healer or whatever. I have yet to meet anyone that didn't or doesn't feel like an outcast, like they're on the outside of the normal world looking in. Okay, of course you do. You're the sensitive ones. You're the empaths. You're the dreamers. You're the people that see things that other people don't see. It's not that they can't see them. They don't see them. For whatever reason, they don't. And it gives you such a different perspective on life and the world and the universe. How can you, of course you're going to act differently than mainstream. Of course you are. You're quirky. Excellent. Come on in. The water's fine and we have cookies. So when the Page of Wands shows up, know that you might be, I've had it show up a lot of times when parents come in and they weren't going to ask about kids at all. They weren't even thinking about that. And I'll be like, do you have a son or daughter who is, and I describe the personality, and they're like, oh my God, you're describing XYZ perfectly. Not that I would tell anyone ever had a parent, but when the card shows up and there is a call for them to maybe help that child ease their way through the world by being one of the quirky ones, that's an important message, because you never know what kind of amazing invention that kid is going to come up with at some point. That's how all the greatest inventions get made. And I think I just said something like that in another video this week, because there's a theme going on here this week about y'all really stepping into what you want to do, no matter how kooky it is. Like with the Page of Pentacles, I was telling y'all about the pizza place in Africa that I wanted to do with a college buddy of mine who was from South Africa, and we're going to do it in South Africa. And it still is one of my best ideas ever. And it taught me so much. Now, having said that, what Raccoon has to do with the spirit totem and power animal is this. Raccoons have an extremely complex communication vocabulary. It includes like 200 different sounds. They can mimic other animals like you cannot believe. A mewing cat, my Lord, they can sound like a crying baby. Nothing will go through you like a hot poker than being out in the woods at night and hearing some, and you're like going through the woods trying to find this crying baby, and you're like, ugh, not knowing a raccoon could do it. Those are the things you learn when you live in the country early on, by the way. They can screech like an owl, and that mask, right? They just, they're little bandits, trash pandas. And they can be aggressive, but mostly they're just hungry. Mostly they're just fat cats, and they just want to eat, because you never saw an animal that can eat like a raccoon. I'm telling you now. Even the healthiest ones, they can eat you out of house and home. And those little mitts, they feel leathery. They can open anything. It's crazy. Having said that they can get into anything. Now, that's very interesting, that they can, because that lends right into their symbolism. When you're talking about the mask, when you're talking about being able to be, pretend to be other animals or whatever, you're talking about an animal that definitely represents being able to uncover a hidden agenda, or detect when a false agenda is coming their way. So, listen, these crafty little imps, they are just the cutest things. If you ever watch them frolic and play, if you get the chance to do that in the wild, it's amazing. More of them don't have broken limbs and concussions, because they just rock and tumble and, fall all over themselves and out of trees, and just, and they're just up and, woo, let's play some more. But they're smart. They're very, very, very smart. And so uncovering hidden agendas, that can also mean in yourself. Remember, this page and the page yesterday, they're about moving forward and doing things in a very big way, on a very specific path to understanding, to building, to gaining wisdom, to gaining knowledge. And you might be hiding from yourself. You might need to uncover, do you have a hidden agenda? And that can be a tough thing to face, or it can be the most liberating thing of all time. Man, I hope you figure it out. So today's reading is a little bit shorter, which I'm sure is fine. Nobody needs to hear me blab for as long as I normally blab, but I appreciate that you do. And I just wish you guys the best Sunday ever. And I love you guys all. And I hope you pick up your copy of the Arcanimal Tarot and Oracle deck. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit the little ring-a-ding-ding down there. Get your bell, so when all the animals, come out to play, that you're there to play with us. So even when you're tired, what do you have to do? You have to stay wild.